All right. Excuse me, Rob. Excuse me again. Oh, by the way, Alan did not teach for 25.42 years. Martin, Loop, Martinez, we all know he taught for 25 and 42 hundredths years.
Explain to me, Mr. Rocha, what the difference is.
Because this way they know how to put it as a fraction or a mixed number in this case. All right. We have some people who would like to say a little something about Al. And let's look at the time. It's a little something. We're going to start with George Grievous.
I don't know if Alan remembers, but I remember him from when he started teaching at Newtown. For whatever reason, we shared a laboratory room. He was doing something after school, you know. And Alan and I became good friends. The one thing I couldn't understand was how people would always confuse us. They called me Mr. Tobin, and you know, all the time. I have a confession to make. It worked to my advantage one time. We were both in the dean's office, and I always thought I was pretty good at my interrogation techniques, and I got a little heavy-handed one day. Well, Alan, I've been keeping it in all this time.
Oh!
They reported Mr. Tobin to Mr. Piccolaro. It was me, Alan.
He's busting up.
The truth came out. Yes.
Next, we have a few words by one of Alan's former APs. Paul Rosenbuch.
I will be very brief. Al and I share some strange parallels, I think, in our early life, right? We went to Baruch, I believe. We both went to Illinois. We both ended up in Newtown. We both taught summer school together, in the dean's office together. So, but in the end, my most precious memories in my 24 years of teaching are the Newtown social studies years. I think we had a wonderful camaraderie, and Al Tobin was a big, big part of that. And I remember him as a guy. He had many passions. Yes, the Stevie Nicks. Yes, the Yankees. But he was passionate about kids. He was compassionate. He cared deeply about kids and about education. And I love my time with him. So thanks, Al. Thanks for the memories.
And finally, one more person to speak, Mariana Papadopoulos.
I don't really have anything to say. Except for, this is a small token from all of us here. So I hope you enjoy it.
Get ready. Thank you very much. And now the man of the 3 hours, Alan J. Tobin.
Okay, as I referred to before, as far as when Tom Tillotz retired, I thought he gave the best speech of any honoree that I've gone to in all the years I've been going to retirement parties. And I don't think I'd be able to top the sentiments that he said. For those of you that would like to know what he said, it should be on my Facebook, I think. But I think he summarized the state of education. And I don't even want to come close to try to top or even what he said. I think that it's no surprise as to where the education in New York City is. And I honestly don't think that there's going to be any change for a long, long time. So I really would rather not get into that aspect of summarizing what I went through for 25.42 years. I try to look at the positive in a lot of things. The last several years, obviously, it was not that easy to be so positive at times. But in the Jewish religion, they have something that, I know that the Irish have it, you know, when you toast people. Well, in the Jewish religion, it's called l'chaim. And I thought that what I would do tonight is to show my appreciation to everybody here, that there's a reason why you're here. I think that in all the years that I was at Newtown, my friend Scott I've known since Buffalo State in 1977. People that mean the most to me, I really, really wanted to be here. I appreciate that Dennis is here tonight. It was very hard getting in touch with him to be here tonight, and I really, really appreciate that he was able to make it tonight. So I'm really glad, Dennis, that you were here. So I would like to go through, well, briefly, as to some of l'chaim. L'chaim is to toast the people that are important to you. So the people that are here tonight, you're important to me. And I just want to quickly just say what important. So thank you very much, Dolores, for being here. I appreciated your youthfulness. I know that we talked and we really didn't know that each other for so long. But the brief time that we did know each other, I'm very happy that we got to know each other and that we're still friends today. So I appreciate your friendship for that short time that you were at Newtown High School. Jerry, I've known you about the longest I've known anybody ever. I want to say that I think that Jerry, she was a teacher for many years. She was, I'd say, the top person at Newtown. I think that she was underappreciated by a lot of people, and you were never underappreciated by me. And I really appreciate the fact that we were able to become friends, even though there was, you know, that you were a really veteran teacher and I was just a little, you know, new type teacher. And it's, if you don't know education, it's not that easy to have. I'm going to take out the. What was I saying?
You say thank you when you go on to next.
What was I saying?
Keep moving.
I got to keep it moving.
I just lost my train of concentration.
You were saying thank you for tonight.
Who was I talking to? Oh, I'm still doing my. So okay. All right. Next, I would like to thank Bernadette. Bernadette, I remember when you came into the department and you were a brand new teacher. I liked your enthusiasm. I think that a lot of students gathered that from you. I know that I had enthusiasm when I taught, and when I would pass by your room, I always saw you with the same type of enthusiasm. And I think that students appreciate what you've been able to do for them all these years. Cindy Cohen, I've known for about as long as I've known anybody at Newtown High School. There was a time where she was pregnant for several years consecutively. I really did not know her really at that time, but after the pregnancy sort of ended, I think Cindy and I became very good friends. I appreciate her very, very much, and it's through Cindy that she's the one that's been making a lot of yarmulkes for me for different aspects of my life. And tonight she got me the last one that I think I'm going to ask her to make, and it's 25.42 years. So I think that this is going to summarize my teaching career very much. This will be my everyday yarmulke that I'll be wearing Sundays through Fridays. So this is what I'm going to be wearing everyday yarmulke. Yes, it is.
You want to go on business?
For those of you that are at Lucy's bar mitzvah, she did all the yarmulkes that we were wearing. So Cindy, thank you very much for your friendship. The first person that I think we mentioned, when I came into Newtown High School for the first time, I had not taught a day in my life. I had just gotten my license. I called up to see who was available. Newtown said, come on in. And the first person I saw was Sylvia. Sylvia helped me out greatly. It was the ESL program that I taught for the first time. She gave me the material. I had so much fun with the kids. And I said, you know what, I think this profession is going to be a really good profession to get into. Little did I know what was in store for me afterwards, but the ESL department, they were very, very sweet kids. So I think that if I got any other assignment, maybe it would have turned me off from teaching. But the fact that Sylvia set me up, she said, don't worry, I'll get you the stuff you need. And from that day on, the rest is history. I thank you very much for the friendship that we've had over the years.
My pleasure, Alan.
George, as he mentioned about the Dean's office, George Grievous and I, again, students would say about me Mr. Grievous all the time. I really appreciated the times that we spent in the Dean's office together for those few years. And when he left, then Dolores took over for George after he left the Dean's office. I appreciate our friendship very much. And we might not agree on a lot of things, but I always look forward to the things you post. And hey, thank you very much for being my friend. Next one, Ron Rosenthal. Thank you very much for the years. Martin was really the first person that I ever met outside of that brief time that I subbed at Newtown High School. I was put in Morris High School, and I don't know anybody from Morris High School. Never kept in contact with anybody there. But the next school I went to was Lane High School. And Martin, we didn't know that each other that well, but we were both at Lane High School at the same time.
10 o'clock.
Okay, one second. Martin and I came to Newtown High School at the same time. Juan Sook, thank you very much for your friendship. I appreciate that we've been friends for all this time, and that I always look forward to seeing you perform every June. I missed last year, but I'll be able to catch you on the future performances. Very sweet lady, and I appreciate the time that we've been able to have all these years in Newtown. Let's see, Marinus, we didn't talk so much for several years, but I think once we did start talking, I think you're fantastic about what you do for Lewis, and you are a confidant that we've spoken over the last several years, and I really wouldn't give that up for anything. So thank you very much, Marinus. Santa, we've known each other for a very long time after we came to Newtown. You're one of the sweetest people I've ever met, and I'm very appreciative of the time that we spent over the years and seeing how your son was able to grow up into the man that he's become. And I really, you were always late. You were like the last person out. And after PM school, I would see you and we'd be able to talk a bit. So I also appreciate the friendship that we've had. Joe, thank you very much for the last several years that we've known each other. Joe is as big a Yankee fan as I am, and we've been able to spend a lot of time together over the years in our off periods, talking about a lot of things. I've been able to meet the students that he's helped tremendously in the office down in the basement. And I do think that, Joe, you're underappreciated at times by the people in the school.
Good job.
Scott and I, we knew each other since 1977. He was one of the first people I met at Buffalo State. We've been friends ever since. Scott had a few jobs before he started to become a teacher, and I think one of my proudest days was the day that Scott said that he was going to become a social studies teacher in New York City. so that was just another thing that we were going to have in common. Scott got me through a lot of the times I've had at Buffalo State, and I think we were able to respond off each other quite a bit. And I do want to say thank you, Scott, for all these years of friendship. It has obviously not been forgotten by me, and we'll be friends for whatever, how long we're going to be around. So thank you, Scott. Jennifer Alvarez, I remember when she came into Newtown High School. When I learned that she was a Yankee fan, we, I think, hit it off a bit. I think she's one of the most effective guidance counselors in the school, and she's been a very good friend and confidant as well over the years. And I appreciate you very much, and we'll continue later on. One of the people that helped me the most in Newtown High School was Margaret. I became a dean in 2002, and Margaret, she was the person in the dean's office to know, and she immediately set me up with what I needed to have to be a successful dean, and I appreciated her friendship and her help for the years I was a dean and afterwards. So thank you again, Margaret, for the years in the dean's office. And Pat Torney was one of the first Yankee fans I met outside of the person I'll talk about later. Big Yankee fan. He really gave me one of my favorite nicknames, and if he would stand up, you know that he's a really tall guy, he always called me Big Al. And the first time he called me Big Al, I said, is there another Al in the room? And it really made me smile. What can I say? So thank you. Maybe we'll have more Yankee games in the future, and the seats are a little bit wider, so you'll be more comfortable in the new Yankee Stadium. He's a big guy. What can you say?
So take care.
No, well, Lewis, I'm not done yet. Some people are not here. I just want to acknowledge Rando Checo. Rando Checo was, when I said about sharing lunch instead of the gang of four, he was really my second gang of two. The first gang of two was going to be Dennis, I'll get to you later. But Rando Checo was part of my gang of two. And one year that things were going on in the school, Rando really helped me quite a bit in the period we shared lunch together, and I really value his friendship. I'm sorry he's not here. I don't know why. Marissa Salvador is unfortunately not able to be here. She was in the dean's office with me, and she also gave me some valuable advice. We shared a room next to each other for the last couple of years that I was in Newtown, and I wish that she was here so I could appreciate that. She's helped me quite a bit. Let's see, Lup. Lup is with the camera. Thank you for giving me about 2 years later, they said, it's not Lup, it's Luke. Well, he never corrected me. He never corrected me. But I appreciate our friendship for the last several years that we've gotten to know each other. And I think that by being our support for each other, I think it's helped both of us greatly. So thank you again for your friendship. Next one, Kluma. I remember when Kluma came into the department. She's one of the sweetest people that I know. Even when she's angry, she doesn't sound angry. She's always upbeat, and I don't understand how somebody is so much upbeat as a Kluma. I don't get it. But I do appreciate the years out of Kluma that you've joined the social studies department, and thank you for being my friend. Mariana and I think hung out about the most in the last several years that I was a teacher. Her guidance and her counsel has been definitely appreciated by me over the last several years. She's definitely made it a lot easier, better, with the frustrations of teaching that I experienced. And I want to thank you, Mariana, personally, that it really means a lot to me, the friendship that you've shown me the last several years. Jerry Silverman, what could I say? Jerry, there's only one Jerry Silverman. For those of you that were at Newtown High School for a long time, you know Jerry Silverman. Jerry Silverman, I think, is the equivalent of me. I think that I've always been my own person, and I did things my own way. Jerry did her things her own way, and she was appreciated for a long time until things got crazy in the school, and that's their loss.
Everybody's.
Right, it was everybody's loss. So Jerry, thank you very much for the years that you've been my friend, and I really appreciate
You and
it.
George and this lovely young lady, Dolores, were the greatest things we've ever had.
Next person, I've said over the years, and I will never take it back, I still think that the #1 teacher that I've ever met at Newtown High School is Joe Doyle. I think Joe, we shared a room, and I stayed in that room when I was packing up, and I stayed in that room and I saw Joe in action. And I still say that Joe has been the most underappreciated person in the last 10 years in the department. I think Joe is a brilliant teacher. I think that he was the first person that I actually saw attempt to do the whole thing, that he really put his all. I saw him in action, and I said, I really wish that I'd be able to be that type of a teacher that Joe seemed it was very natural to. I've never seen anybody put so much time and effort into teaching as Joe Doyle. I think he's definitely been the most underappreciated teacher there is at Newtown High School. And I think that one day that will be acknowledged on just how great Joe is as a teacher at Newtown High School and the students that he's had. And I appreciate, Joe, your friendship over these last several years. Manny, what can I say? Manny Guerrero, he came into the department as a sub, a temp person. He did not have a regular program. I knew him a little while, and I learned a little bit about his life. I thought it was a very fascinating life and how he came into the United States. And since that time, Manny and I have become very, very good friends. I appreciate Manny's friendship more than he knows. And thank you very much for being the advisor and counsel to my last several years. I appreciate you, Manny, very much, and thank you for that. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was. So thank you for cutting it back a little bit. I'm going through Dolores, as I said, Dolores was a social studies teacher, new social studies teacher. We worked at the Dean's office for a very short time while she took over for George Grievous at the Dean's office. She's one of the sweetest ladies that I've met in Newtown, and one of my greatest things that I've got out of Newtown was that I was able to get to know Dolores a little bit before she left to have a family, and now have a very successful career outside of teaching. So thank you very much, Dolores, for not so much, I want to say maybe towards last, but Nelson. Nelson was one of the first people I met at Newtown High School, and he came into the social studies department, and he heard there was a Yankee fan in the school, and from that day on, we've become best of friends. The incidents that we've both been able to experience, we've been able to feed off each other, and have gotten through some tough times. And thank you, Nelson, for everything that you've done for me over the years. I really appreciate it. Let's see. She left. She was here. She had to leave. Linda Teicher is one of the sweetest women of Newtown High School. She had another engagement to go to. I'm really glad that she gave me a few minutes. I really appreciate Linda's guidance as well. She's also constantly me several times over the years. So sorry that she had to leave. She'll see this eventually on the video. Kathy Kilway. Kathy, when we started to know each other, when I started to walk around as a dean a bit, and we got to know each other, and the things that you would tell me, even though you were a Met fan, and
yes, dedicated. Long
you
suffering.
were a baseball fan. It's nice to talk baseball with somebody. Another confidant that I've talked to in private quite a few times. I know we both loved Kathy Doherty, which is what I'm going to.
And Dot, don't forget Dot.
And Dot Farley, which I wanted to mention, mainly at the April party. I was going to mention at the April party. So thank you very much for your friendship as well. Tim and Kathy, they were at Newtown High School in the 1990s. When I met Tim, he was already at Newtown for a couple of years. You were 1 year. Tim, it was just the best friendship that I had. I wished him well when he went to bigger and better at Great Neck South High School. I really appreciated the camaraderie that we had. We shared one thing that they could never take away from us. We both went to the record-breaking performance of Anthony Young when he lost his 27th consecutive Met game. That is a Major League record. We were both at that game together, and I had a really good time. So, thank you very much, and thank you, Tim, and I'll talk to Kathy later. Sal, thank you very much for your friendship over the years. The thing about Sal is that he was only a couple of years older than me, but when we walked the hallway together in one period that we shared the walkie-talkie, the guy just wore me out. He went 4 steps at a time up the steps, and I'm looking at him and I said, come on. Sal, come on. I appreciate our friendship over the years as well. You have a beautiful wife and family, and I'm really, really grateful of the years that we were together.
Don't forget his service in the Korean War. Spanish American.
Spanish American. That was out of my mind. I don't understand that. One of my favorite people at Newtown High School was Joan Hidalgo. Joan was one of the people that I really gravitated to early in my career at Newtown High School. She was one of the most pleasant women I've ever met, and the talks that we've had over the years have meant more than you know. And I'm very, very sorry about with your husband, and when you see the flash drive, it's from my heart. So when you play the flash drive, you'll see my response to you for that. So thank you very, very much for everything that you've meant to me over the years. And now that you're in New Hyde Park, maybe we'll be able to get together a few extra times. Robert Rothman was one of my best friends at Newtown High School. He was the leader of the chess club, and we've had a lot of talks over the years, talking about history, about religion. He's always shown me the most respect, I think, of anybody in the school, and I appreciate your friendship, Rob, very much, and thank you for being here tonight. Vicki Lee and I have been very close over the years. She and Charlie, my husband, have been able to help me out watching Lewis over the years. She's a very, very good friend, and I want to thank you for everything you and Charlie have done for not just Lewis, but for me as well. I don't know how I misspelled your name. It was late and I was typing this out, so you can take away one L until it's. But Tom, thank you also. You're one of the people that I confided a lot over the years in Newtown, and I think that you have always been the brilliant teacher that you are. I think that there was no mistake that you had the AP class, and the AP class was very successful in your leadership. And so, thank you very much.
Save your applause for the end, please.
Paul, hey, when I do this stuff for teacher retirements, this is my retirement. Paul, thank you very much for your friendship and the leadership that you had as an AP. I learned a lot under you. I think that out of all the people, as far as history goes, you're a historian way above anybody else, in my opinion. And I do appreciate the years that we were together as a teacher, and the years that you were the AP for me. I'm wrapping up. Rapid. To Jean Gurr and Lucy Jean, you were the first person that introduced me to the dean's office. I still think today you are definitely, I know that you deny it, but I think your humor has been above and beyond anybody that I've met, not only in Newtown, but outside of Newtown. I appreciate your friendship over the years, and Lucy, a great parent. So, thank you very much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
I want to thank my one student. I wanted to have one student here that many said you have to have one student come and represent the students of all the years of teaching. And I'm very appreciative that Juanita and her mother are here. Juanita was probably the top 2 students I've ever had. I had like 1A. Juanita was the most brilliant student that I had, and I appreciate her being here tonight. And thank you very much that you have a very great example of your mother to be here. So I can say personally, thank you very much for having Juanita, that she was able to be my student. I want to thank my sister for being here tonight. Liz, as I said to other people that you've never heard, but I think that one of the proudest moments of my life was when you and I have become as close as we've ever been. And I still look at that to be my #1 event in my life, was that you and I have been able to become very close. So I appreciate you and everything you've done for me, for Lewis, etc. My dad, that I talked about a lot as far as my dad and I might not have gotten along every single day of our lives, but I never once stopped thinking about his example of what he showed not just my sister Liz, my sister Laura, and myself, but that hard work and determination is what gets you ahead in life. And the one thing you could say about my dad is that that's the one thing that he's dedicated his life to, was hard work and dedication, not just to my sisters and myself and my mom, but to the grandchildren. There's not one day that goes by that I don't appreciate the sacrifices that my dad has made over the years for the family. And I hope that over the years I've been able to show the appreciation I have for my dad. I think my highlight of teaching has always been talking about my dad's exploits in World War II, and my grandfather, my dad's father, who I'm named after, his exploits in World War I. And it means a lot to me that I was able to, even though I'm never in the military, but I do appreciate where I come from. And I look at my dad as the example to show what to do in life, to be a man. And I think that I appreciate my dad very much. But certainly not least, I want to say thank you, Lewis, for being the son that you are. You are the most great, I can't put it into words that I think that of all the people that I've come in contact with, Lewis, you are the one person that I rank #1.